Assalamualaikum and welcome to LEPAK at LECOPAK. Yes, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. LEPAK at LECOPAK tau sebutan yang sebenarnya. And today is so important because, okay, Mr. Alex, before I introduce you formally, okay, LEPAK at LECOPAK. LECOPAK actually comes from the origin of being lescopaque, which actually means the last chance. And this is my first chance and hopefully not my last chance to sit in this chair. Nampak tak? So ladies and gentlemen, imagine, okay, just imagine being in New York and then the kids in New York are running after Rambo and the kids in New York are playing Batu Seremban and the kids in London are having a great time eating some durian or working in the paddy fields. Do you think it can't happen? Betul. It can, because we are making it happen here. And I am with the two people who are actually making this happen. The IP has exploded, it's expanded. And today we're here to talk to these two wonderful creative individuals about Upin and Ipin universe. And what we're talking about a game. Welcome to the show. First, of course, we have with us the man. I don't think we need to introduce him. Dah berjuta-juta kali dah orang interview Tuan Haji. But it is Tuan Haji Burhanuddin, Muhammad Radzi, the managing director of LEPAK Production. And next to me on my left, who's going to cause me to have to do a lot of subtitling today and dubbing. But it's okay. I'm sure you will learn Bahasa soon. We've got the man, Mr. Alexander Fernandez, who wants me to call him just Mr. Alex, who is the CEO and co-founder of Streamline Media Group. So we're going to explore what is happening. It's so exciting and it's so soon. So we all know Upin and Ipin. Okay, Haji. Upin and Ipin, the two twins, the two budak kampung who are now going from the sawah fields, going into spinning gasing. They are leveling up. They're going into a game. Tuan Haji, when you started this in 2005, terbayang ke, did you think that this was going to happen? A game, an actual open world developed by Unreal 5. Was that in your plan?
Yeah. When I started in 2005, we first go into animation, but we know I will build the business as a big business model like Disney.
Wow.
It can be done. But when we started, nobody believed that when we introduced the two boys and the kampung story, the village story, everybody was telling us, can it go global? But me and my wife demand that by having our cultures we sell our cultures.
Yeah.
And when I went to Cannes to see the way that people selling the product of animation, TV, all that, I came back with my wife. That was in 2006, 2007. I said, we can't copy them. You have to sell original product. Yeah. What best for you to sell original product? Obviously, you have to make a story that you know best.
So, the idea of Upin and Ipin, I know it's you and I, okay, these two boys, these two forever 5-year-old little wonderful boys. The first thought of Upin and Ipin came from Haji.
Yeah. So, actually, we just started to do the animation, and my team created the two twins boys. At that time, there's no role, nothing, just twin model.
Yeah.
Then when I went to Cannes in 2007, it so happened we pitched our test animation to TV9, the CEO
TV9.
of TV9.
Good.
When he saw it, he said, this one is perfect for Ramadan content. When we went there, it's in April. Ramadan is in October. So I said, yes, we can do it. So when me and my wife came back to Malaysia, we told the boys, let's do it. Take the two boys take it out and make a story for
Specifically for
the Ramadan. So what's the best story? So we said introduce fasting to these two boys.
Yes.
That's how it started.
That's how I got to know Upin Ipin.
Yeah. So yeah, you know the young boys, when you ask them to tell the story, they can't do it.
Yeah.
So in the end, my wife and me have to do it
You wrote
together.
it yourself.
My wife, she knows how to do it, but she don't know how computer. So I have to type for her. And the couple story come from me.
From you. Is it your real life?
No, not really.
Inspired.
Yeah, inspired. Because I live in kampong. My wife never live in kampong.
Okay, that is a good point. Actually, the reason why because most of us know about the background. I mean, you just need to do a bit of research on Upin Ipin and Lekopa and Haji himself, and everything's out there, from the fact that you were an engineer in the beginning and how you moved into it, Haja. But the reason why I wanted you to set that context is because I want to swing over here to Alex yourself, because what Tuan Haji just mentioned, which is his wife didn't get raised in a kampong. Okay, so now let's find out a little bit about you. For those of you who don't know who Mr. Alex is, what Streamline does, maybe you'd like to give a bit of an introduction before we get into the game itself.
Yeah, so I mean, Streamline, we've been around for 24 years making video games. We originally started off as a mod team, basically making games as teenagers. And then we basically sat down and said, you know what, if we all come together and basically put our efforts together, we can make games. And I was 20 when we started the company. So this is all I know how to do. And I grew up in a rural area. I grew up in Utah. So it's funny because the compound looks just like where I grew up. It looks just like it. I mean, it was very rural. It was horses, cows, orchards. I mean, it looks just like that. And this is something where when you looked at the content, it's like, okay, I used to go, and I'm an identical twin.
You are
I'm an identical twin. So what the kids do, I do.
Say it, but it's giving Upin Ipin vibes.
When I saw that, I sent it to my brother. I go, look, it's our baby pictures.
Oh,
so it's like there. But I mean, I'm not kidding you.
You're Upin because
I have no hair.
Yeah.
I had a long time ago.
I didn't want to say it, but you said it first,
it's okay.
That's okay.
I mean, it's like I used to have nice curly hair, but anyway, it disappeared.
You're in brand right now.
Well, yeah, you got to represent everything. So it was good, and I think the thing is, in the end of the day, just what it comes down to is basically for us when we started Streamline, the idea was creating something that you knew was possible if you're willing to work towards it.
If you're willing to work,
you have to work towards it. Basically means you have to suffer, because that's what that is. If you're going to create something, you're going to suffer through it because no one's going to give it to you. So this was something that for us, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So the ability to basically relate to content and then to meet people like Haji and hear the story and learn how this is.
So how did you meet? Ni dia cerita dia, background dia. When was that moment where Haji, yourself, you went, ni dia ni yang kita nak kerja dengan dia to take the IP to transmedia at the next level, and yourself, how did you meet?
Yeah, actually, I said that when we started, we built the business, we make Upin Ipin, so it's famous. Then I think around 2014, we decided to go into game. We set up game company and all that, but because we go on mobile, the return is not much. So I'm not too happy with that. We close. But the thing is, when I look how to go with game, is so much different from animation. Animation, you have the prime media for you to push the animation to be popular because it's on TV.
Okay.
So once your series is on TV, the children will watch. They say it's 9 o'clock every day they will watch.
Yeah, like in Indonesia, 5 jam kalau tak silap masa tu.
No, now is 12 hours a day. Yeah.
12 hours of Upin Ipin. Betul. All the way.
7 days a week.
Okay, itu dahsyat tu.
Yeah. So, but in games, it's different because when you see the games that they produce, they come up with their IP. Most of the game that you see in the market nowadays, they're fighting, they have their characters. how you want to make it popular? It's
Right.
very difficult unless you have tons of money for the promotion.
Okay.
That's what we don't have.
What do you mean you don't have it? But you've
No,
got
no.
such a success.
It's not small money to promote if you want to sell your game globally.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah. So you must make that character famous.
Like
But
any
you don't
character.
have the opportunity like animation on TV.
Ah, right.
Ah.
Okay, understand now. So
You-
it's different to let's
It's
say
different.
The
You-
Simpsons game or
Yeah.
something globally. Yang kita
yeah,
boleh
new
tarik.
game.
Ah.
Unless you make game from a well-known TV series or that.
Yeah.
So that's different. But when you want to go for game, the character is very difficult to promote. To make it famous, it need a lot of money.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So we are not dealing with that. But in 2022, when Ipin started to play in Indonesia 7 days a week
Yeah.
and 12 hours, we say it's ready
It's
to
ready.
go for game.
Wow.
So that's how we started the idea of doing the game, and we invited tenders from the game
Okay.
company for us to evaluate. So finally, we chose Streamline.
Streamline, having done Final Fantasy, The Matrix, etc. I mean, we're not
Yeah.
talking like small game players.
Yeah.
We're talking. You've done some massive.
We've done a
work.
bit. We've done a bit. We've done 400 games in the past 24 years. So we've worked
Wow.
on really large products, what we call AAA. I think what Haji said is extremely important for people to realize. You can either find fun or you can find fans. So here's the thing. If you're going to find fans, that's millions of dollars. And that's having fans that you can actually sell your game to. And then in games, we have to also find fun. What makes a game fun? Who knows? You only know when you send it out there, right?
Subjective, yeah.
So what ends up happening here is that in the games industry, especially because of how expensive they've become, it's better if you have fans because then you can find fun, right? Whereas if
Okay.
you have neither, you basically end on an endless journey where you don't even know. So you're rolling dice. At that point, we're just throwing dice and
Is
see
it
if we
quite
win.
similar to like say when we try to bring a screenplay to life from a novel into a film? Obviously, it's slightly easier if the characters are already known.
Well, it can be because in the end, you're selling to a known market, right? And so this is the key thing, right? So
Okay.
in the case of Upin Ipin, you have a legacy IP that has
Yes.
established itself over decades.
Yes.
And now you're at a point in time where the next generation who grew up with it are having kids.
That's
so
right.
that's the Disney effect. And he's having the Disney effect. They're getting that Disney effect.
Yeah.
Then you come to that next step and you realize that in the global context, the consumer is the global South now. So Southeast Asia, Latin
Yes, it is.
America, Africa, the next 2.5 billion people are coming to want to hear their stories.
Yes.
And so this is a transition point that gaming at the right place, at the right,
Right
time,
time.
with the right IP, it flips over. So that's that moment now that's happening.
Two things there. So you mentioned all the regions and continents and the people who where it's at right now. And one thing that stands out is family values.
Yeah.
We've all got that in common.
Yes.
The countries you've mentioned, the cultures are very similar to
Yeah.
our cultures in terms of filial, family, belief systems, morals, etc.
100%.
So there is a strength there. My second question is, what made you want to work with Tuan Haji?
That's actually a great question. So you asked how we actually met. So I'm one of those people that believe life brings people together. When I first came to Malaysia in 2009, I came for the Creative Conference, the first one that ever happened here. And they put me at a table with him and his wife.
Really?
I had no idea who anyone was. My first night in Malaysia, we sat down at the same dinner table. So for me, life
Nothing
puts
happens
in front of me. No,
coincidentally.
I don't believe in coincidence. Not from that perspective.
But did you have curly hair then, or
I had
were
some
you
hair.
in brand?
Actually, no. I actually had hair still. You
I
know, and then
think Haji's very forward thinking.
No,
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
looked at you and he
Yeah.
thought, ni kalau tak ada rambut ni boleh ni
you know,
sebenarnya.
maybe.
Kan?
I mean, I just it was, yeah. You know, well, it's just years of stress.
Wait, but first, is your twin a man or a woman?
I said I'm an identical twin, man. Not some
Haji, dia
100%.
kena bawa yang lagi seorang tu.
He's in Japan.
He's in Japan. Tak apa, kita bawa dia masa launching nanti. Upin and Ipin in the future, this is what they will
I know.
be.
They're middle aged
be.
making video games.
Tak, dia kan ada macam,
It's the
so you
future.
have like a future idea,
yeah, I know.
kan?
It's like here they are
But-
making games.
But anyway, okay, so both of you. So we've got creative, we've got IP that's just expanded and exploded. We've got you knowing, with your expertise. How long did it take to develop Upin Ipin universe? How long are we
2
talking
years.
about?
Yeah.
Just 2 years.
Yeah.
Give or take, just about.
How do you create a universe?
When we ordered them the contracts, 2023, early 2023, by October last year, it's ready for testing.
Were you secretly like an Upin Ipin fan, and you've been like creating it on the side, menunggu saat-saat?
So what it was is that basically, well, actually, it's like, it comes down to like this: is that 24 years of making something over and over again, you understand how to, you know your craft, right? So we have craft, but the other side on this is that the kids that make up the company, right? The average age is 23. In the studio, this is made in Malaysia, made in Kuala Lumpur, made by kids who grew up with it. So you have to think about it this way, right? You have kids.
That's why when we ordered then a contract, we insist that they must be done in Malaysia to ease the communication
100%.
And work between our studio and them. So it made easier because we know what we want to do with the game. So most of the gameplay, we designed it, give it to them. Then they design the game.
When you look at basically the collaboration that's here, I think one of the hardest things when you have cross-industry collaboration is that there's animation, there's games. We have different language, and we have to learn each other's language, but then we have to respect what I like to call the high creative. So we speak a high creative with each other where we understand what creativity means.
It's like
and then
fused
interpret it.
language.
100%.
I know what you mean. So the technicality meets the creative. For those of you who might not understand what a high creative is, dia gabungkan, so dia jadi satu otak. So you take the ideas from there. That's very interesting. So that's the language that you speak. So 2 years speaking the high creative, and now we've got Upin Ipin universe. Let's get into the game. So it was created with Unreal 5. Okay, I do not. Okay, the last game I played was like a Nintendo Game Boy. No, actually, I did play.
I was going to say that's like
but
1989,
that's my favorite.
my dear.
But that was my favorite. That was my favorite. But I am a nostalgic person, so this game really appeals to me. And I am the next generation, Haji. So my daughter loves Upin Ipin. So I'm like pushing. I'm definitely going to be on the wish list, pre-ordering. How do you, for someone who was not raised in a kampung, but we're talking about kampung durian runtuh ni, with Kak Ros, with Tok Dalang, we've got Rembo running around, we've got all the characters that are beloved already within Upin Ipin. How do you get familiar enough with them psychologically, mentally, physically, everything in order to bring that world to life?
Well, I mean, the thing is you got to watch it. I mean,
of course.
You got to watch it. And I think the other side of it too is that you speak to the people who created it. So, I mean, the thing is like being in proximity helps, right? Being able to work with the team helps. The other side is that, I mean, we live here. So, we just go out, go drive around, go eat the food.
By setting up the company, a lot of their stuff are Malaysian.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it's made by them.
We were surprised when they first came. They have done a lot of research about Upin Ipin.
Yeah.
They know what is really
Upin Ipin.
No, the Kampung Durian Runtuh, how it looks like. So the thing is how we want to bridge the gap. They're thinking how to do it with our team.
Yeah.
What we want.
What you want.
So after some time, it's easy.
Wow.
But initially, we had to bring what's the perspective of Upin Ipin game with our perspective, how it need to be done. Because all the gameplay come from the series.
Yes. And we're going to get into that further. But this is an open world game. Can you explain that a little bit for the people who are joining us, Alex? What does that mean? So you're immersed.
Yeah, so you're immersed. So effectively, we have the entire compound where you can explore. You can go anywhere you want.
Okay.
And you play with the boys. You can go down to the houses. You can go into the rivers that are there. You can go fishing. So basically, for those who play games and who've been there, open world is one of the most popular game forms now because it allows the player to choose self-direction, to go be an explorer, to go play the missions, to go play the narratives. But at the same time, it's all choice. So you're effectively
empowered.
Yeah, empowered, and you're living your decisions, which is exactly like if you think about when you're a kid, kids make up a world in their mind and they play with things. Open world becomes a sandbox where you have many toys to play with, but then your imagination does everything and it's your choice.
You put it together.
100%.
Okay, so Tuan Haji, you know, you often talk in a lot of the interviews with you about jati diri, about identity, and making sure that what we present to the world is Malaysian.
Yeah.
It's ours. Are you happy with what has been created with Upin Ipin Universe?
Yeah, of course.
How do you feel about it?
I told you when I came back from Cannes in 2006, 2007, basically the people in MDEC telling me, if you want to be successful in animation, you have to make a product for the European and American market.
So European and American
no.
specifically.
I said no, because animation is about little detail. So how can you ask my animator who come from Kelantan, never go out from Malaysia,
Yes.
to make what the Mak Saleh are doing? And the children in Europe are not the same with children in Malaysia.
So how are we going to get the children overseas in all the other markets that you mentioned, even though they're similar to us, to understand apa tu sebenarnya batu seremban? What is our local culture? How do you foresee this?
Yeah, they will see all
get
the
familiar.
The thing that play are new thing.
Yeah.
And Upin Ipin universe, most of the game they are playing is outdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
And I think
that,
this is
from
extremely
what I saw in
important.
the trailer.
Yeah. So it's when we show it to people overseas, they default to family values.
Yep.
They default to it's a game about playing outside with your brother.
Right.
They default to a moment in time where there's no technology interfering in your life. And this is one of the biggest things that when we saw kids, we took it to Brazil, and the Brazilians are like, this is my home. When my mom saw it, she thought it was Nicaragua.
I can imagine.
So it responds to people's most inner desire of who they are. This is my life when I was a child. This is something that I want to do now.
Yes.
Right? They want to connect.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
can
what these
understand
boys
that.
are doing. And that's something where when you get down to the essence of Malaysia and you get to what it means to just be with somebody, it's the most primal thing. Let's go outside.
Let's
go run
outside.
around.
Let's lepak.
Yeah, let's just hang out.
Let's hang
Yeah,
out.
this
Kan?
is
This
it.
is what we call
Main kat luar kan?
is what we call global product.
100%. 100%.
Anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
people can connect.
That's what I said. Like, nanti dekat New York, dekat London,
It
we're
doesn't
going to have
matter.
kids who are like, who understand, you know, basically
Yeah.
who we are. It's great.
Yeah, that's it.
Kan?
Yeah.
From they're going to be like baju Melayu. They're going to be
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. It's
suddenly
gonna,
we're going to find like fashion, diorang berubah, cara
Yes.
makan is going
That's
to
the
change.
problem with us.
We keep following.
Local film production
Yeah.
will always think we have to follow the Hollywood.
But actually, you know, our songket, our baju Melayu, our songko, our baju kurungs. I mean, it's cool, man. Sebenarnya.
It
You know
is.
what I'm saying?
100%.
It really is. Cuma kita terlupa kot benda tu.
Yeah.
And so that's great because in the game, all I've seen is a trailer. So just let me throw a quick promo in here so everyone knows. It's launching on
It's
the
launching on the 4th of July.
4th of July. And something's happening on the 3rd of July, Alex.
Yeah.
What is that?
So on the 3rd of July, we're going to be presenting at Japan Expo in Paris. We're going to be presenting to 400,000 Europeans, Upin and Ipin on the center stage. This is a
Okay.
big deal. So we're going to share it to the world, specifically Europe, Upin and Ipin universe. We're very excited about that.
Are you going to bring Upin Ipin?
No.
No,
Oh, why not?
they're going to be here.
They're going to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
They're
I mean, how
Malaysia.
could I question that?
They
How
gotta
can they
go
be in
here.
2 places at one time?
Yeah, on
Very
4th
hard.
of July.
Mampu lah.
On 4th of
They're going to be
July,
at the
we are
press
launching
conference.
here.
Let's go back to the game a little bit more. So, okay, so it's open world.
Yeah.
Upin Ipin can go wherever they want. There's no limitation, you said, on this.
No, so basically, I mean, okay, so it's open in the essence that they can go around.
Okay.
You can basically interact with everything.
Is it solo, multiple player? What's
So
the...
it's basically 2-player co-op,
Okay.
single screen, or 1 player with AI playing with you. So families can play together, or a person can play by themselves. But ultimately, in the end of the day, I think that in the end of the day, you want to play with someone too. You want to
Of
be the
course.
twins and go around there.
Yeah. And are there story arcs, macam jalan cerita within it that you can like
Yes,
choose?
yes.
Are there quests?
Yes.
Yeah, the thing about the open world that they are making, Kampung Durian Runtuh, I was told by my team, It took them 1 hour to explore the whole whole kampung.
Really?
It's so big.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
I
mean,
can
it takes like
imagine. There must be some Easter eggs and things
there's
in there.
there's a lot of great stuff, and the thing is, this
But the Easter eggs have to be called telopenyu or something different.
Is it telopenyu?
Because it cannot be Easter eggs. It has to be like
Oh, yeah,
specific
okay,
to
yeah.
us. Kan dia kena telur goreng ke macam
I know, absolutely.
telur rebus.
No, absolutely.
Telur rebus. Kena cari.
Well, the thing is what it is. Like it takes a lot of time, and this is what's great about the amount of content that's in it. There's like 12-hour narrative in the game.
12-hour
There's a long
narrative.
story arc in there. There's multiple lines, and then you have the open world nature of the games, which just basically gets to a point that if you think about it from the perspective of kids, it's made for everyone, but 6 to 12-year-olds is really what I look at. They're gonna have endless fun, and then as a parent, so I have a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 10-year-old. I know how much 30 minutes means to me of my own time. I also know what it means for me to be able to play with my kids. So this is the thing where for the parent, especially, I'm 44, so I grew up with games and I want to game with my kids.
Yes.
This is for them. It's for all of us that are like, please, I need something to play with my children.
Yes, but something safe.
Yes.
Okay, so kita balik because sekarang ni children don't play outdoors often. They don't even interact with their parents. Their heads are down. We have this constant like makan pun we don't even eat together macam ni. So what I love about Upin Ipin universe, and I haven't even played it, I've just seen the trailers. Being a mother, I just feel like they're going to be safe in the hands of Upin Ipin, Kak Ros.
Yes.
Even Tok Dalang, walaupun dia garang kadang-kadang.
Yeah, we make sure that there's no violence in the game.
100%.
Okay, so that's interesting because now kita dah biasa, we're used to that sort of element of violence, unfortunately, on screen. And so how do you keep this safe? Just for the parents that are watching so they know, okay, boleh relax bagi diorang play.
Yeah, so there's a couple things in here. First off is what the kids do. Fishing, cooking, RC driving, riding a tandem bicycle, running around. Basically anything that you did as a kid, you can do.
You can do
right? You can go do that. And there's nothing violent about it. And it's also the idea that when you watch children play, they have their imagination, right? So what we did is we made sure in the game that you could manipulate objects. You can move stuff around, like a soccer ball, boxes. So you can do things that you want to do, like jump an RC car off a box, drive your bike off a box, right? It's that type of stuff. It's innocent fun.
It's innocent fun.
Very
Itu
innocent.
Yang kita tak ada dah sekarang.
That's what we emphasize on this game. There's
100%.
no violence.
Yeah.
They don't fight each other.
Yeah, not at all.
So your grandchildren, Tuan Haji, your family, your friends, memang kita confident like this game is like, don't worry about it. Kan? And is it educational?
100%.
Tell us the educational aspect of things, because banyak games sekarang dia tak ada educational aspect whatsoever. It's just like either you're playing and jadi macam zombie and that's it, or so tell us a little bit about that aspect.
So when you look at the games, the way the mini games work, I love this because we were mini games.
Okay,
so there's mini games. So there's a cooking mini game.
Apa tu?
Where you help prepare different dishes.
I need to play that game to learn how to cook.
I think everyone needs to learn to play that
Let's
game too. I learned how to
Mari
make
kita.
it, right? So you have to get the ingredients and then you help the adults.
Ada
But
apa?
the
Sambal?
adults,
Is there sambal in there? Kak Ros
there is
sambal?
sambal. Actually, there is.
Is
There's
Kak
that,
Ros-
and there's also fried chicken. We have lemang. You make nasi lemak. You make all types of dishes, right?
So cool.
So you're teaching the kids how the dishes are made, but then the adults do anything that's dangerous. The adults do.
So like
but
the
you help, like cutting, frying. The parents do.
Okay.
But what's great is that you teach the kids to help. You teach them how to identify the ingredients. You then teach them things like, how do you plant? There's a farming part.
This is so
Plant the
random.
seed,
They're going to plant.
Yeah, you're going to plant seeds and you're going to grow chilies. And then you get the chilies and then you put it in the food. So you get the entire ecosystem from planting to growing to harvesting to cooking to helping your parents and your family.
Feed.
Exactly.
So
then you
it's
go
a
fishing
life.
as well. Effectively, yes.
It's a life,
It's real.
actually.
Like
It's
one
a
of the mini
storyline.
games is Tok Dalang want to do barbecue.
Okay.
And they have to catch the fish.
Yes. The
Certain
fishing.
kind of fish.
Yes.
And then they have to find the baits.
Yeah, you have to the bait.
The insect.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to find the bait, the cacing to catch the fish.
100%. It's so much fun because you go out into the grass and use a net and you go and catch the insects to get the bait, to then go fishing, to get the fish, to then make the recipe.
Okay, benda ni macam best, tapi nak tanya, is it hard to play? Because I'm like, like busy moms and dads out there. Is it simple? It's a console.
2 buttons. It's easy. It's
2 buttons.
2 buttons to play with your kids because in the end, for children, they should be able to play. And for adults, they shouldn't be frustrated. So again, the test is two things.
They shouldn't be
Oh
frustrated.
no, they shouldn't. I mean, they don't have a lot of time. So I mean,
Okay.
you just described something amazing. It's like one of the most frustrating things about playing with your kids is not being able to play the game.
Exactly.
Right? That's just it.
X,
So make it
0,
easy.
Y,
Yeah, I mean,
mana satu ni?
You gotta
Nak
have like
lompat
6
kan
fingers
si-
instead of 5.
Yeah,
It's like
I
here,
mean-
2-button move.
Okay, cool.
Right. So we harken back to the old times of easy to play gameplay, but understandable for children, so that the kids are happy, mom and dad are happy, or auntie and uncle are happy. That's the key. It's that family experience rolled into one. That is what
I
we're going
love
for.
that.
The other thing about this game, all the gameplay, the children can relate to Upin Ipin series.
100%. Yes.
They'll go and find Upin Ipin series and watch.
100%.
Of course. So it's all, I mean, it's the whole ecosystem of
Yeah.
Upin Ipin. It's the entire...
Well, they inform each other. This is what's brilliant about this, is that if you look at it, game and show, they go like this.
Intertwined.
So, intertwined. So when you start to think about how this goes,
Yeah.
ultimately, in the end of the day, this is the first time ever in the region that an intellectual property goes to this level.
Yeah,
No
that's
one's
what I'm
done it
saying.
before.
It's gonna be, and what's next? I mean, there's gonna be what? Concerts, film. Cikgu Sarimah needs to come in
Yeah.
there at some point.
I'm
Counselor
thinking.
Sarimah ke apa.
I'll think about
Haji
that.
is looking at me like I'm not quite sure where to put her in the kampung. Tapi tak apa. Kita pun orang kampung
You'll be a downloadable
tau.
character.
Okay,
Right? Come
a
visit.
little bit more about the game because okay, people joining us. I'm sure you're pretty sold on it right now, and you know that it's coming soon. You know it's easy, it's family oriented. We don't need to be worried. Values too, Haji. This must be such a proud moment for you and your team because kalau Upin Ipin kita tengok kat TV, kita tak boleh pegang dia orang tahu. We can't touch them, okay? You can't make them do things. Tapi sekarang ni, besides the previous games yang ada, we can
they control
become
it themselves.
Upin and Ipin, and we can become Tok Dalang, and we can become Kak Ros. And how important is that to you now moving forward?
Yeah, I'm looking at the business side.
Okay,
Yeah.
director, he don't play. He's like, I'm looking at the money. Let's go. Mahal tak game ni?
It's very expensive.
Okay, maksudnya? Like for me to buy it. For a parent.
For
Me.
for you,
for the consumers.
It's not so expensive.
Okay.
But for us, it's very expensive to
I'm
make it.
sure.
Because you know, when Mat Saleh doing it, it's very
Habis
expensive.
dah kena dah Mat Saleh.
Here we
So-
go.
so-
And they're talking US dollars. And not
Haji,
ringgit.
dia dah pergi shave kepala dia
Yeah.
nak bagi Haji puas
Gotta get in
hati ni kan.
but actually,
But it's worth it.
for me, as an animation company, we can just solely look into film, series, all that. Because once you make a film, either you make it big or you flop.
Yeah.
So you
The
can never tell.
reality.
Yeah.
The reality
Yeah.
of what
Even
it
the
is.
TV series, until one time, people, we are lucky because Upin Ipin continue.
It's evergreen.
Evergreen.
And it continues. And
Yeah.
you've done films
But-
and you've got to the Oscars.
We have evolved it into so many business, like merchandising,
betul.
licensing. Even we have academy.
Yes. Theme park je menunggu ni.
So we have to look into what other business model we can do.
Right.
So that's why we go into game.
Can you expand on a game like this, Alex? How's it going to
Yeah,
work
the game
together?
can expand
As far as it works?
as it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
there's so many
Looking at
ways to do it.
Putri in the future coming,
No, even
perhaps?
game Upin Ipin can expand to another level.
yeah, so the way we designed the game and what's beautiful about an open world is that it never has to stop. So the way we've designed the game, quarterly content updates, characters, storylines, missions, we can keep adding to it. The way it's been technically developed, but also the way we look at it as an entertainment property, right? So we like the architecture from a standpoint of saying that, I mean, obviously we want success,
Yeah.
and then success becomes something that becomes self-perpetual.
Yeah.
And so ultimately in the end, we're hoping that the fans come and keep coming and say, hey, we want more. And we just keep adding additional parts to the compound and keep expanding.
I was going to say, how do you keep people interested? Because if they've played the game once, what will make them want to come back again?
So the thing is, you got to remember the game itself, because of the way the narrative is, you have the narrative lines that you're going to play, plus the open world nature. It's that sandbox. Why open world is great is because it's never ending. So you just continue to update as you go.
It's like real life.
Well, I mean, it's the best game in the
But
world.
if you look at Upin Ipin series, we have so many genres.
Betul?
It can go to the future.
It can go to the future. We
Yeah,
have the future.
There are series. We can go to the future.
Yes.
or they can be what it is
Alternate universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other is about macam tu magic.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, faham? And you can add
that one all can be expanded
Yeah.
into the game.
into the game. Okay, Haji, we're getting close to wrapping up the first part of our Lepak at Lekopak. What I'd like to know is, okay, kita as Malaysians, we're Malaysians, we are Muslims, majority, you are. How do you walk the fine line between making sure we are not preaching our values to others and not alienating other people? So when we reach an international market, okay, you talk about the similarities are the family values.
Yeah.
Tapi macam mana kita nak jual produk ni, IP ni sebagai, okay, ini adalah IP kreatif kita, orang Malaysia, orang Melayu, Upin Ipin are Melayu, even though there are other races within the character. Tapi kita tak push sangat dari segi bab, we're not trying to push it down their throat, take our values in that way. How do you keep the balance?
In Malaysia, because it's multi-racial,
Yes.
it's the best to test all product whether it's acceptable with other races.
And you have tested with kids, I believe.
Yeah, I think Upin Ipin, there are a lot of followers, Chinese, Indian. Whenever we make a carnival, a lot of them come.
Yeah.
So if we can make them interested into it, then no problem.
Yeah.
Recently, we went to Japan.
Yes.
A lot of the Japanese people say they know Upin Ipin.
I saw it. They do the dance.
Yeah,
they do the song.
dance.
They know that.
Yeah, so you don't have to impose it.
Yeah.
You make it attractive. Make the story simple for people can relate. Whenever you sell, I was asked one time, why can't you make Islamic content?
Yeah.
I said, no, I will never brand Upin Ipin as an Islamic
That's what I want to understand.
product.
Yes.
What we're going to put inside it is Islamic values. We don't have to say, because Islamic values is universal.
Universal values.
You have to do good things, all that. So it's subtle, so people will understand. So you don't have to preach and saying that.
Yes.
But if you watch the way we do it, Upin Ipin is a child. They can't teach other people to do good things.
Right.
So all the advice will come from Opa, Otok Dalang. They can never do that.
Interesting.
They can only show we have to do like this to show an example to the children, but they can't tell the
you
children
what to do. And
you can't do that.
And that's been the appeal of Upin Ipin from the beginning, and that's why it reaches everybody right into their heart. And
yeah, we are very, very particular, especially Haji. She's the one who wrote the story from the beginning until now.
Yeah.
So she's very particular. Upin Ipin cannot tell anybody because they are children.
Because they're children and they respect their elders as they should. Okay,
100%.
so I think we've covered pretty much a lot of the bases on the game, the gameplay, Upin Ipin universe, what to expect. But I still want to know more because I know there's a surau in there. There is what are some of the most
The tadika.
the tadika? What are your favorite parts of the game?
I'll be honest with
Alex?
you. My favorite part is basically going and driving the RC cars around.
Okay.
I love racing those cars around because you can drop them and you can drive them all over the compound and you can make ramps. And I like just playing with the objects and playing with the twins.
When I play it, can I see from their perspective and can I choose the different views?
You can on certain things. So
Okay.
In the open world, you're always seeing behind them, but certain modes like the RC car,
You're
right behind the RC car. So you basically go in there. So
You're basically driving it.
Yeah, you're driving it. So
Yeah.
you get that child essence. And then again, I mean, I did a lot of these things with my brother. So we would make ramps and jump bikes off
course,
ramps,
yeah.
and then
I did
the
it too.
fishing, and that
Yeah.
it's fun. I mean, and I got to be very clear for a lot of us older people that are going to hear us talk.
Oh my goodness.
You're really going to enjoy playing this because it's like finally, it's just finally
we could do it. The
Exactly.
actors, I believe you hired the same actors, ya, Haji. Pelakunya original are voicing it.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
it's cool.
And how did
I
you
still
do that?
giving the voice for Otok Dalang.
You're of course. siapa lagi nak buat suara Tok Dalam? Come on, takkanlah dia kan. I'm so happy you are though, really. And I hope you forever will do the voice of Tok Dalam. How did you what's the challenges of getting the actors in to do the actual game itself, into the Upin Ipin universe? How do you do something like that?
You ask them.
Yeah.
Tu dia.
If you ask, they'll do it. I mean, people love I mean, it's an exciting medium, right?
Of course.
So you want to be part of something new, but I
Is
think
it difficult to do something like that?
No, not really. I mean, I think the thing is like this, right? It's different if you've never done it before. And it's like anything in life, right? It's just, you do it and then you realize your talent's in it. So I think that in the end, when you look at, say, the voice acting, which is fantastic, the music is fantastic, story is fantastic. I mean, you see all the craft, and that's going back to that high creative that I'm talking about. We may not be in each other's industries, but we can respect the creativity and then we bring it together to make something new.
Yes,
right?
the third entity.
100%, right? And that's, I'll tell you something, the only two industries that I've seen that do it naturally, animation, fashion. That's it.
Right.
They do it at that level. They understand how to.
You don't think so?
Music is a bit different, but like, I mean, you can play it, but like when we need to make something, like where we require all the different elements.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's fashion and animation.
Fashion, animation. So there are language choices. Haji, macam mana bahasa? So we have, obviously,
At the moment, we have two.
And English.
English and Bahasa.
So how does that work? I can choose, and then the voice actors themselves, the real voice actors are going to do both languages.
Yeah. 100%.
So Tok Dalam pun buat bahasa English juga.
Yeah, all this
Macam mana
while.
Tok Dalam yang bahasa English cuba?
I go to Malay school. But
So
actually, if you watch on Netflix, all that, the English are done by us.
Yeah, I know that it is originally yourselves
originally,
anyway. So it is in the game. So everything familiar is here. And for those of us who are not familiar, you are going to become familiar with Upin Ipin universe. I think we're going to stop there now. This is just the beginning, part 1 of a 2-part series. We understand the game a bit more. We understand how to play the game. It's safe. It's available 4th of July. It's groundbreaking for the IP. Streamline are on board. You've even moved here, Alex, with your family to make this happen. This is the man making it happen. In the next part of our podcast, we're going to go into the Upin Ipin universe and the future and where you want to take this business-wise and what we can look forward to. Thank you. Thank you for being with us so far on LEPAK, LECOPAK. Okay? See you in the next part.